Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. Also, please check out the comment section below and the description section where I put additional information about whatever I'm talking about. If there's something different or something that I wanted to add, it might also be in there along with any potential links. Let's get started. This is the Focal Chora 826, and this is the Bowers and Wilkins 603 Anniversary Edition. These speakers are very similar, but not very similar in how they sound. The frequency response on these is both identical. They have identical frequency response. The sensitivity on this is 91, and this one I believe was 88 or 88.5 or something like that. Okay, so the woofers, everything's the same size pretty much. It's just amazing. So I'm really going to talk about the sound differences. I feel like with the Bowers, from here up is really where most of the sound that's coming out into the room is. I just feel like there's some weakness down here. Whereas with the Focal, I feel like everything is coming out into the room. Like there's just a nicer sound stage. It throws everything at you so much more evenly. Both of these tweeters have issues with some of the bands that I mentioned when I spoke about each speaker individually, but the Focal's is a little bit better. It's a little bit less harsh to tweeter, in my opinion, than the Bowers. It doesn't seem to run away as much with the sound of like cymbals and hi-hats. Whereas the Bowers, I feel like, can keep that hi-hat sizzle just going for too long. There's a $100 price difference too. So this sells for usually like $1,100, and this sells for like $1,000. For $100 more, the Focal, to me, all the way. Because the bass on these things is identical. But I think the bass sounds better on this, and I think this has better separation overall with instruments, just hearing different instruments. Much better clarity overall as well. Both of these speakers, if you try to take an equalizer to them, they're not very equalizer friendly, okay? So really when you purchase these, the idea really shouldn't be to hook them up and then run the EQ, because each of them is going to lose the type of sound that they have. So running an EQ on the Focal, boosting up the bass a little bit in the 40 hertz range, and then maybe a tiny bit in the 60 hertz range or the 50 hertz range or whatever. The same thing with this. The bass on these two are very similar. Again, the Bowers definitely has a bit of a sound like this with voices. Some of the music tracks that I played, it's going to enhance that more. Some of them, it's going to, it's not going to sound like it's much more enhanced. With that said, sometimes it works, I feel like, and sometimes it doesn't. Whereas the Focal is more, I feel like, conventional sounding with the vocals. It sounds like, a standard speaker, but the vocals are very clear. The vocals on the Bowers sometimes might be a little bit more clear, and I think it's because of it has a bit of that edge to the to the sound of them. As far as placing them in the room, this one has a rear port, this one has a front port. It's really just going to be a matter of preference, but I think these speakers have to be placed for maximizing that bass. Only if there's no subwoofer being used, okay? And the subwoofer on either of them should be set to 70 hertz, 60 hertz crossover. I think that's really appropriate for these speakers. Because both of them, around the 60 hertz range or so, they just they just, they just collapse. Both of these speakers are just so close. I mean, the size, everything about them is just so close. But I think for $100 more, the Focal is totally the way to go. I mean, at least for me. Of course, in your house, your ears, your amplifier, your room acoustics, all that stuff, it has to appeal to you. So, this might be the right choice. Well, maybe this will be the right choice. That's the thing with speakers. There could be 100 people that like this, but if me or you don't like it, or me and you don't like this, then, what good is it? So what? 100 other people liked it. It doesn't matter because, you have to enjoy it in your house. Yeah, so that's really my overall comparison of these two. The other thing is that if you want to do a bi-amp, then the Bowers and Wilkins can. The Focal can't do a bi-amp. I don't know if the bi-amp is going to do much to improve the sound. I didn't test it. I haven't done a bi-amp on a speaker in years, and I remember when I did it years and years ago, it didn't really seem to do anything. I didn't really notice it. So, again, that's up to you. Potentially doing a bi-amp on this thing with maybe, a lot more power might work out well. It might help to, bring out the bass more. When I did test these out, I played them on the Onkyo, the RZ, the TX RZ 840. So, that's limited to 120 watts. If you have any questions or comments, please post it below in the comment section. And I do hope that you found this video somewhat helpful. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.